welcome back to EA Tarot. It's Emily. Right now I'm sitting at my desk, you guys. It's January, but it's warm. I live in the desert, and so the sun's shining. I've had my coffee, and I'm just kind of ready to jump in and chat with you guys about my January 2025 books, tarots, and intentions, and kind of just get the vibes going for this month. And so to start that off, we do have my Tarot of the Abyss. Now this is something I talked about in my previous video about pairing it, not pairing it, but kind of using it as like my daily reach for and to kind of get to know the cards better. It is a deck that I know everybody basically has, but it's new to me, and so I've been pulling a card and working with it in my monthly overlay in my planner just to get a better idea of the guidebook and kind of what it has to offer. And so I've really been enjoying that practice. And so yeah, this is kind of like my not necessarily searching for answers or having some great revelations, but more or less just getting to know the layout of this deck and the guidebook and the creator's intentions, which her voice comes through in the guidebook. And so I really like that that aspect. And so staying with my Tarot of the Abyss, there is something that I wanted to do this year. And so that happens to be pairing a deck with a book. Now, it's going to be nearly impossible for me to get this fully in frame, but this is The Clinic by Cate Quinn. It is supposed to be set kind of like in the Pacific Northwest. It looks very January-esque on the cover, and so that's kind of why I'm reaching for it now. It is a fiction work. It is about two sisters, and one goes into like a treatment, an addiction treatment facility, and the other is like she kind of catches like the cheaters at the casino and stuff, and so they both have interesting lives, but it kind of talks about their different paths, and it's supposed to be like a murder mystery kind of set in like an addiction facility treatment center, like a really bougie one. And mental health is super interesting for me, and so I really enjoy reading books that kind of have a solid underlying mental health aspect. Right here it says battling her own addictions and figuring out the truth will be much more difficult than she imagined. Like, it just sounds interesting. Now, because of the setting of the book, I did, like I say, choose it for January. But this year, I kind of wanted to get in the mindset of pairing a deck and a book together. And so, obviously, I'm not going to be able to, like, read a fiction book and pair it, work through a tarot deck simultaneously regarding the book. But I do want to kind of have like the book that I'm picking up every day, and then also like the tarot deck that I'm picking up every day to kind of have relatable imagery so I can really set the tone for my day and for the month. And so that's kind of a goal of mine I have in 2025, is to just match my tarot decks and oracle decks with a solid read, whether it's a fictional read or a witchy read or a tarot read. All of those are kind of my jam. And so, yeah, this deck gives me very January vibes. There's no color. It's just solid line work. It is a bit dark, and that kind of just gives me this imagery as well. And so I'm looking forward to that. So this is kind of like my everyday pickup, and then a book that I'm going to start reading in this month. Next, I'm going to just kind of go through and talk to you guys about the decks that I have lined up for this month, and then kind of a couple more books that I would like to jump into. But my Tarot of the Abyss and The Clinic are the only two that kind of go together, so that's why I had that you know, to start right off the bat. But moving forward, I have my Dirt Gems Oracle. This is an oracle that was sent to me by the creator a couple years ago, and Louise Burdett and Chelsea Granger is who have written and illustrated this deck. It gives me, again, it kind of gives me just that January vibe and mindset. It also has the stunning, you know, solid black, not solid black, but I guess in a way, solid black backgrounds. The gilding on the edges is really pretty, but this is a deck that I just think will look really nicely for this month. It kind of brings me to like looking forward to summer nights and kind of just getting, you know, preparing myself for that energy. Because I live in the desert, summertime can be really rough on me because I am a colder weather girly, I like to think. And so this deck is just a little, I think it works for both cold weather and summer evenings. I mean, it's reminiscent of summer, and it also has some solid black and white imagery like here in Thistle. And so it's just a deck that I think is going to be super fun to work with for this month. Clary Sage, I mean, I think it's gorgeous. Like, I'm really thankful to have this deck in my collection. But yeah, like this Yarrow card is definitely reminding me of like Tarot of the Abyss and kind of just giving me that colder weather and possibly looking forward to some summer nights. Now, you guys have to forgive me. My daughter does my nails and they look gorgeous, but I always have a way of messing them up when they're still wet. And so my nails look a little wonky, but she did do them. So yes, anyways, moving forward. Now I do plan on working with this deck with a few others, and I'm just going to jump right into it. We have the Star Seeker Tarot. This is a deck that I've had in my collection for a while. It's really pretty. It's solid. And it's also kind of giving me January vibes. Now, I have never read with these two together. In fact, I've never read this oracle with a tarot because the guidebook here for this Dirt Gems Oracle is so rich, and I'm not fluent in plant and herbal witchery and magic and reading like I feel like I should be. And so it's definitely a deck that I have to use the guidebook for, and I love that. But because it's so in-depth, I feel like I get so much out of it that I don't necessarily need to pair it with a tarot, if that makes sense. And so I think these two work really well together. It is something that I do want to use this month. But like, look at the colors here. Like we have these light purples, muted purples, and then we kind of have like this reddish purple. I don't know. I think it's really pretty though. I think the pop of color in this deck will really lend itself well to the muted color palette in this deck. And I just think that the messages together could also be quite nice. Here we have our Ten of Swords with some arrows and, you know, relatable objects as well. I just think it's gorgeous. We have the Hermit with Iris and, you know, this vase and plant and crown's the only light here. And then we're left in just kind of a dark black background, which is also reminiscent of the Hermit with her light. Valerian and death. Like, I think the messages here are going to be so good. So yeah, that's going to be my Dirt Gems Oracle. Like, look at seven of Pentacles with our black cohosh. Like, we have some running water here, and then we also have what could be reminiscent of a little stream, both in full color and in black and white. Like, I just think it's going to be potent. Like purples, I don't know. Okay, I could probably go through that until we get through every single card. So I won't do that for now. But yeah, that's the Dirt Gems Oracle with my Starseeker Tarot. Okay. Now, to keep on with this oracle, again, it's one that I really want to use this month. And so I would like to continue using this Dirt Gems with my Wild Unknown. Now, my Wild Unknown, if you guys have been following my Instagram or know a bit about me, my Wild Unknown is the deck that I reached for when I first started reading. It is one that, as soon as I learned the RWS system, this was my first like fun deck. And so it feels like home to me. I feel like in January we kind of need that like home feeling. And so I just think this can also be super fun. Again, you know, I guess you guys can kind of see the the vibe I'm having here with my black and white line work, my tiny pops of color. I mean, I just think that they're going to read really, really well together. Now, I haven't always necessarily been someone who likes to pair my tarot and oracle decks together, but because of, I'm just going to blame it on TarotTube, but you guys have really shown me and inspired me to kind of pair them together, and I think it's super fun. And so even here we can see this like watercolor pink and purple, and same in here in the middle. You know, we have green, which is reminiscent here. We have our yellow candle, which can be seen down here. Like, I just think they're going to look really nicely together. And so yeah, I'm kind of like looking forward to that. I think it's going to be really fun. Evening Primrose with our Queen of Swords. Arnica, like, I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. Holy Basil with this Five of Cups. Like, it almost looks as if, like, this horse is looking down into this image. I really like it. And so, Dogwood and the Devil, like, here we have our reds and oranges and yellows, and that's going to be seen over here. I think they complement each other very nicely. Like, oh, look at the backgrounds even. I don't know, you guys. It's gorgeous. I'm really looking forward to it. So that's going to be my Wild Unknown Tarot and my Dirt Gems Oracle. Now, to keep on this path, I guess, that we have going, I am interested in pairing my Wild Unknown with another one of Kim Kranz's Oracle for this month. And so I'm going to stay here with the tarot now, and I'm going to just jump right into my Archetypes from Kim Kranz. And so, hold on. The top is always tricky on this deck. Like, there's no pretty way to open this box, in my personal opinion, of course. But yeah, I mean, obviously these are going to match nicely together. They're by the same creator. They have the same artwork to a T. They have the same art style. I think it's just, again, it's going to be really nice. Now, this oracle is also another one that I have to use the guidebook with. Like, it's not this like simple little thing for me. I think it clarifies it very nicely. I think it's all around a stunning deck, but it's not one that I'm like fluent with to be able to just know the meanings. Now, I can obviously read the title of the card and get intuitive hits from that. Like we have our Nine of Wands with the Destroyer. I mean, I think the messages are going to be great, but she has so much in this guidebook and so many like hidden elements that I think it's going to work really nicely together. Again, like I read for clients with my Wild Unknown. I love it. It's a solid deck for me. But this oracle is something that I'm going to have to, I just read for myself with it because I need to reference the guidebook. If I was going to read for family or friends or someone just playing around for fun, I would love to just do intuitive hits. But for the most part, when it comes to these readings, like we have the Ace of Wands with the Self, I don't know, I think it's really pretty. Really pretty. And so, yeah, I'm not sure where I'm going with this, but I like it. It's something that I would like to use. We have our Nine of Cups with the Healer. I don't know. It's gorgeous. I like it. That's just me, though. So, yeah. These are all decks that I would love to work with this month, but not all of them, I'm sure, are going to make it into my month. You know, I am fairly busy. I'm a homeschool mom, and so it's just going to be fun to kind of like work these in and have these out on my desk and on top of my, you know, altar space for when I'm feeling the urge to pull them. So lastly, this is my cute little crystal that I've had in this deck literally since I started with this deck, and so it just lives there. But yeah, lastly for decks, I have another one that's fairly unique, and that's going to be my Earthbound Oracle. It is one that it doesn't come with a guidebook. It's in a tuck box. I've had this deck for a very long time. Again, it is one of the staples in my practice. It's gorgeous. I love it. It's by Skull Garden, I think is where you can find it. I don't know if it's out of print or not, but it's stunning. Again, we have a ton of open space here, which I think is really pretty. And it does like coincide with the month. Like even if I am to just, because you know, this is something I'm feeling this month, but even if I just like take my book and I can kind of match it up nicely, like, I don't know, I think it could work. I think it gives me that January vibe. I really do. And so these are just some of the cards that I'd like to be working with. Now, I do use this oracle specifically as a connection to the Holy Mother, you know, the Virgin Mary, but it's not, I don't have like a Virgin Mary deck or anything like that, which I know I should probably get, but we are able to commune through here, and I think that's like really nice. I get sweet little messages. I mean, like I said, there's no guidebook. It's one word with an image and open space, and so it is like very intuitive. And I think that's really nice. And so this does kind of live on my space. And I think it's really nice. Now, I obviously don't know why there's so many upside down cards in here. I don't read it with reversals. I think for me that would be pointless. I'm not big into reading on reversals in the first place, or reading reversals, because I feel like it takes a lot of that intuitiveness out of the reading. And so, yeah, it's just nice to like pull and get like a sweet little message from. And I like using it, you know, with her. And so that's just kind of where this deck is. But it does give me very like January-esque vibes. I think it's gorgeous. But yeah, that is my Earthbound Oracle. Created by A.L. Swartz. Like I said, I'm not sure if it's out of print or not, but it's a solid little read. Like, I like the size, I like the no guidebook, I like kind of everything about this deck, except for the little tuck box. But yeah, that's the Earthbound Oracle. So to just kind of wrap it up, I do have, this was a book I was reading in December. I kind of wanted to finish it in December, but I haven't. It is obviously, as you can tell, Witchcraft in the Southwest by Marc Simmons. It is a monograph. It was published in the 70s. I have definitely gone through this book. I've annotated. I think it's really interesting. I live in the Southwest. You know, this is home to me. And so this book has just been really interesting on seeing how others kind of viewed witchcraft and some of their methods. And it's just a great way to connect with like the genealogy of your land. And so in my practice, that's something that I am like wanting to understand more and learn more about. It's hard because, you know, like it's all stolen land. And so just to be able to kind of understand the thought process of, you know, the indigenous people who were here, I really like this book. Now, it is a book that like I said, I started reading it in December. I didn't get all the way through it yet. I'm on page 84 with my adorable little bookmark that I got from the Outlaw Oracle, Hillary Banks when she sent it to me. And so, yeah, I love it. But yeah, I don't know. It is a deck now, because I am starting to pair my decks with books in just the sense that they give me like the same vibe. I would like to finish it, but I also kind of want to hold off on this until I can get the Desert Illuminations Tarot by Lindsay. And so I don't know. I don't know if I should wait for it. I don't know if I should just continue reading, but they really just like seem to obviously match each other nicely. And so I would like to just be able to go through this book and finish reading it while I'm also getting to know like the Desert Illuminations Tarot. I don't know. It's kind of just the way my mind's working, but I think it could be really nice. And so, yeah, we'll see if that makes it into the cut for December. And then lastly here, just to finish it off with a fiction, I have my Kindle is huge because it's the Kindle Scribe, but this is just Nightbitch, not my Nightbitch, but just the book. I love my Kindle. I definitely don't read on it as much as I should, and so I do try to get a book on here and read with it. I'm very much like a hands-on tactile person. I love my decks. I love my books. I like holding and flipping through pages. I like to pull cards, and so being on a Kindle it's fun and I like it. I'm just trying to use it more. And so this is Nightbitch by Rachel Yoder. This is a movie that I just saw on Disney Plus, as I'm sure you guys have too. But I came across the book last year, and I'm basically vegetarian, and so the cover to this book really grossed me out. Although the idea and the synopsis of it was really nice, and it definitely speaks to womanhood and motherhood and like our primal instincts and urges, and all of those are really big for me. Like, I am an animal girly. I have horses and dogs, and if I play my cards right, I can maybe talk my husband into a small kitty. Obviously, I don't know. I don't need a cat, but I'm an animal person, and so I'm able to connect with animals in a very unique way, and they are big in my practice. And so this book just kind of speaks to that. And I don't know if it's something I would like to swing in January. If I can swing it, I absolutely will. But that means that I need to knock out the clinic first. And the clinic's like kind of a big book. I don't know, like, right? It's big. But I don't know. I might be inspired to do it all. And so if I get through the clinic, that's kind of like my main read for this month. If I can get through it, I would love to start Nightbitch. And so, yeah, I mean, that's kind of my January wrap up, or, you know, my January plans. Maybe I can get in touch with you guys and post another at the end of this month, along with some videos throughout. And I would like to be posting probably like twice a week, but we'll see. But yeah, if I can do that and then also maybe include like a wrap up and show you guys and talk with you guys about the decks that I was actually able to tangibly read with and, you know, completed books, and I will definitely update you guys on that. But yeah, these are my January decks and books. And I really appreciate you guys being here with me. I thank you. I look forward to seeing you guys again in a few. Thank you so much.